Welcome to FI Friday Feedback and the FI Guys. Today we're going to be recapping Monday's pod, all about cryptocurrency, your ultimate guide so that you understand before you invest.
And if you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, then this will be a great pod for you, because last pod we went deep into the details, and it was intense.
We went deep in the paint, man.
Yeah, dude, it was a wild one. Yeah, but Monday's pod, great pod. Today's pod, if it's not Monday for you, I hope you're having a great day. But if it's not Friday for you, sorry, it's Friday.
But it's Friday for us, so we're having a great day. So first we're going to go and recap everything we talked about crypto, where we basically did a full deep dive from understanding crypto, how cryptocurrency actually works. Mm-hmm. We talked about like consensus mechanisms, which got really deep. Yeah, mining. We're not going to get as deep as we did on Monday. We talked about mining and usages for cryptocurrency, and then investing in cryptocurrency. Is it right for you? And if so, how much of your money should be putting into it? Mm-hmm. After that, we'll get into the viewer mailbag, and then win of the week.
Absolutely. Wonderful pod up on the schedule for today. So with that being said, I say we get right into it. Do we want to talk about the evolution of money?
I think we should talk about the evolution of money. I think all good cryptocurrency descriptions need to talk about what money actually is, because once you start to learn about cryptocurrency, you realize, you start to think like, this is a scam, and it sounds like a scam, until you actually know what money is, and you go, this is a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Yep. Yeah, no, we talked, I love this. You went deep last podcast talking, and I hate to keep bringing up last pod, but you were talking about the Silk Road, the start of the money with the Chinese empires going over to Russia and the deep part of Russia. It was very interesting. Mm-hmm. I know me personally, I didn't know that level of deepness when it came to the creation of money, but yeah, I mean, we also talked about the gold standard. Mm-hmm. That was really interesting, and how we got taken off the gold standard.
Yeah, in 1971, we got taken off the gold standard. So after World War II, there was something called the Bretton Woods Accord, where all countries basically pegged their money to the dollar, because the dollar because America, the U.S. dollar, America and the U.S. dollar promised to peg our currency to gold. So you were actually able to go to the mint with your money, physical cash, and trade that in for physical ounces of gold. I believe it was $1 for 0.35 ounces of gold, which I don't know if that's a lot or a little. I think it was something like that. Mm-hmm. But, and we were on that for a long time, and it kept our financial system running really well. But what it didn't allow the government to do was, during times of inflation or anything like that, they couldn't do anything with a monetary policy because everything was fixed to gold. So the only way to make more money, print more money, was to actually find more physical gold, because you need to have it available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then in 1971, due to inflation being so high for so long, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard entirely. And then that created just a full-on new type of currency, which allowed the Federal Reserve to be able to just print money out of thin air, which they weren't even printing money. Well, I guess at the time they were printing money, but they just started printing money whatever they want, willy-nilly. And that is centralized finance.
Mm. And do you think that if they wouldn't have taken us off the gold standard, that we would have had a prolonged depression or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there issues with us being on a centralized finance and us being off the gold standard? Yeah, 100%. There are like major issues with that. And we're, unfortunately, right now we're like kicking the can down the road for like, when is it going to become an issue? But had we not, we probably would have had World War III by now. Yeah. And who knows where that would be. I mean, we could all be gone because we blew ourselves up with nukes. Mm-hmm. Or we could have just gone through a prolonged, like, hard time, and then things got better. Yeah. So I always say, like, we don't know the way that history could have unfolded, but we do know the way it did unfold. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say that is what did happen. Not positive, not negative. It just is what it is. Yeah. So we work within the system that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a smart way to live. We can't control what we can't control. Mm-hmm. So let's control what we can control.
Yeah. So, but that is really, when we start talking about taking us off of the gold standard entirely, that is really what fiat currency is. And fiat currency is just the understanding that money is backed by government decree rather than intrinsic value. And that's how modern economies work.
It has value because I say it has value.
It has value because if you don't, I'm going to send my military.
And take you, yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Yep. Yeah. He who has the biggest military rules the world.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, rules the money.
I mean, it's kind of what Teddy Roosevelt's big stick program was. Was literally that. Like, if we have a big enough stick, people aren't going to mess with us.
Carry a big stick and walk strongly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how it is currently, and that's the reason that there's a lot of companies. You heard of BRICS?
Yeah. Is that the one with like Russia, China?
Brazil, Russia, China, India.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, some of the kingdom and those empires. They're trying to move off of the dollar being the reserve world currency.
Yeah.
Because it gives America too much power, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I mean, if you're in one of those countries.
Yeah.
And
from where we're sitting,
it's great.
I'm liking it.
But imagine if you're there and you're like, hey, like our currency's pegged to you, and you guys are just inflating. Like during COVID, we made more money than has ever been made in history in like a span of like a week.
Yeah.
We just did it.
Yeah.
And every other currency also had to deal with that. With what we're doing over here.
Yeah. It's kind of messed up. We did what we had to do, but it's still kind of messed up.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what could have happened had they not done what they did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that what they did was right, because they probably shouldn't have done as far as they did.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It happened.
I agree. I agree.
We work with what we have.
Yep.
So that is the difference between cryptocurrency and modern day finance. Modern day finance is centralized, meaning that the governing body can either create or destroy money really on a whim. And hopefully it's not on a whim. Like hopefully there are people.
It's not like a Friday night.
Yeah, there's some guys drunk and like, yeah,
let's take $1 trillion out of the economy.
Yeah. Like hopefully there are people making good decisions, and whatever side of the political spectrum people seem to fall on, they seem to say like, yes, it's going well, or no, it's not going well, depending on who's in office. But that's really what it comes down to, is that there is one body of people being able to make full monetary policy for the entire world or for their individual economy.
Yeah.
Versus decentralized finance, which is the role that crypto is supposed to play, in that there is no centralized person. It is, by definition, decentralized. So now we, the people, everyone who is now involved in crypto mining, part of the crypto space, is actually saying this is what our units of measure are worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could see why Brexit would be created. And they actually wanted to be on the gold standard, right?
Brexit then?
I think so.
I don't know, maybe.
I've heard rumors of that, but that's all. I mean, you need a lot of gold.
Yeah.
You need a lot of gold. You're paying a visit to Fort Knox.
Yeah, it's very difficult to think about like how could all of that work and how would everything work. Could we actually go back on the gold standard now? Is it possible? I think it could be possible, but it's going to take a lot of no, it's going to take a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of struggle in order to rein us back far enough. Because just like with people, and this is where it gets very difficult for people to understand, all governments, just like households, run on the same exact thing: money in minus money out. But governments are non-producing assets. They are non-producing entities.
Besides the taxes they collect.
Yes, so that's not producing. They're not making any money. They're taking money from their citizens who are producing money.
Yes. Okay, I see what you mean. Yep.
But in America and pretty much most other countries in the world right now, they are not making a lot of money from taxes. They are spending far more, but then they just print more money and kick the can down the road. Because every time that you create debt, you are taking away from your future self.
Yep.
Think of a bar graph. Every time that you are to take money from, say right now, 2024, you take money now, you're going to increase how much money you make. But in 2026, your money is decreased by that same exact amount.
Absolutely.
If not more, because of interest.
Yeah, definitely. It's a scary place to be.
Yep.
If you're a young person.
It is a scary place to be. And I think that's why so many young people look at crypto and they're like, I get it. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's probably why a lot of old people are like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. What is this? It's on the internet? No, it's something different.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about the definition of it?
Yeah. The definition of cryptocurrency is decentralized digital money built on blockchain. That is what cryptocurrency's like true definition is.
Do we want to break that down a little bit?
Let's break it down a little bit, because cryptocurrency is decentralized digital money built on a blockchain.
Yeah.
And most people go, okay.
Same.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bet.
Yeah, exactly.
And just so we are aware, there are two most popular versions of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then there are 9,000 other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all of them are bad cryptocurrencies. I'm just saying that there are two ones that people have adopted, and there are 9,000 others.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
It's very wild.
It's very wild. So stick with what you know.
But you know. But that's what we're here for. We're going to teach you.
We're
going to teach you, now you know.
Yep. So cryptocurrency is decentralized digital money built on blockchain technology. So cryptocurrency, we already talked about what cryptocurrency is. Cryptocurrency is money or exchanges of value that are digital, 100% digital. Decentralized just means that there is no one person that controls it. Every single computer around the world that is mining Bitcoin all owns it together. We're all on the same exact ledger. Go back and listen to Monday's pod and re-listen to it again if you don't understand what I'm saying here.
And does the computer have to mine the Bitcoin to be a part of it?
Yes.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, it needs to be a mining Bitcoin because like it's on the, like, don't get me wrong, like the chains are on the internet, but like only the ones that are mining actually have that full chain sequence on there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's my understanding.
It's your understanding.
It's my understanding.
Okay. And then, would you want to get into the functionality of it? Or?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Let's do it.
So the functionality of cryptocurrency is to serve a digital, encrypted, and most importantly, again, decentralized medium of exchange for money. So rather than us having to exchange paper dollars or something like that is fiat, that has been bestowed upon us by another entity, we are now deciding to say, like, this is what currency is. And with Bitcoin specifically, Bitcoin was never, I don't believe, designed to be the medium of exchange. Like, I don't think if Satoshi is a real person, that Satoshi ever went ahead and said, like, oh, people should be trading Bitcoin for movie tickets or Bitcoin for pizza, or Bitcoin for this. I think Bitcoin was supposed to be the gold. It's supposed to be the thing that we peg the dollar to.
I could see that. I could really see that because the Bitcoins are very difficult to acquire, difficult to make.
And they're difficult to transact in. It takes a lot of hashing power to transact in.
Yeah.
But if we're transacting in dollars and we're just backing it $2, then it's okay. Then it makes sense. We're not changing that often.
Oh, and for those that don't know, Satoshi is the theorized creator of Bitcoin.
Yep.
Yeah. Just so
No,
we're saying a lot of random, like, really weird words. I'm like, Satoshi, is that a new coin? What is that? It is the Bitcoin.
It is the Bitcoin.
Yeah, the creator of the Bitcoin. Yeah.
Creator of the Bitcoin, who
allegedly
might be anybody.
Real. Yeah. Nobody knows who he is, or she, or they. I don't know. Anyway, so we talked a little bit about the functionality of it.
Yeah.
You know,
the functionality, and the big thing is, like, unlike fiat currency,
yes,
there is no centralized authority to manage the value. So with the Federal Reserve, if there is too much going on, the money's flowing too quickly, and like people are just like throwing money in the air, they don't care about it. What do? They raise interest rates.
Correct.
Now money is more expensive to borrow.
To slow the money. To slow the economy down.
Slow economy down. And the exact opposite is true. If money is too tight, they'll lower interest rates. And those are really that's really their main tool.
Yeah.
Is to and then also to increase the amount of money in the system. Those are their two, like, levers they can really
or to take away money from the system. But they never take.
They do.
Really?
Yeah, we're destroying money right now.
Really? Can I get some of that?
In order because it's not real. That's what they're doing right now. But unlike that, where the government can do that, there is no centralized person that can just decide to make more money, destroy more money, increase interest rates, decrease interest rates.
That's wild.
So now we, the people, and not just the people of America, not just the people of China, we, the people of the world, get to decide what the best way of monitoring molding and securing our currency is the best way for all of us.
Yeah.
And let's think about why this is needed. Before the Bretton Woods Accord, when we got off of the gold standard, if you wanted to transact across countries or across anything like that, you could transact in dollars because dollars were backed by gold. So it'd basically be the exact same as saying, like, hey, Brazil, I want to trade with you in China. Here's dollars. But before that, you legitimately had to put gold on a ship, send that ship across the sea, and then that would be the unit of measure. And imagine that modern day. If I want to buy something off Alibaba in China, I'm not going to send my physical gold on a plane to China.
No.
But it would be much easier, especially as we move more into a digital age, to be able to transact in Bitcoin and immediately digitally send them money. Yeah. Now, ideally, that's not the system that I think Satoshi meant to make. I think he meant to have it pegged to a dollar or some sort of currency. And then now we know that, like, if I'm transacting it, there's something backing it, unlike currently, which is the hardest thing for people to understand. Currently, there is nothing backing your dollar, with the exception of the belief that something is backing your dollar.
That's crazy. Yeah. The money only has value because we say it has value. Yeah.
And every country is like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. That's really abnormal.
It is. And that's why when someone says, like, oh, well, what's the cryptocurrency Ethereum, Bitcoin, they don't have any intrinsic value either. It's like, yeah, but neither does physical money.
Yeah. But then they always go like, well, I can buy stuff with my money, you know?
And I can buy stuff with my Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Given that someone is willing to transact in that Bitcoin. So that's where the adoption curve gets harder.
True.
That's very, very important. But unlike gold, Bitcoin's a little bit different because gold can be changed into jewelry. It doesn't tarnish. It is actually a precious metal that is used on like space stations, and it is very important because it can't tarnish. But other than that, like Native Americans used to trade on seashells.
Yeah.
African tribes used to trade on little glass beads. And are we to say like those are wrong, like those were stupid? No.
No. It's no different than our money.
It's zero different.
Literally no different.
It is zero different. But we like to think that we're so much higher and greater and smarter than everyone else, even though we're doing the exact same thing. Just our system is veiled a lot more confusing than other people's.
Yeah, it seems more sophisticated, and it's just not. Yeah. It's not.
There's actually was an African country, I don't remember what it was, that used to trade in these like little glass beads, like little glass, I don't know, little glass balls, and I'm not sure how. Like, I think they were really hard for them to make in Africa. Well, the Europeans showed up and they realized that was their currency. They're like, oh, we can produce these. So they just produced a bunch of them, brought them in, and destroyed their currency.
That's so ruthless.
Yeah.
Wait, what was this? This is like way back.
Not even that long ago.
Really?
I mean, yeah, like it was back. But like,
70s?
No, like 1800s.
1800s? Okay.
Like not like that far.
It was like yesterday. It's like they rolled up and they're like, oh, we got this.
But think of that exact same thing. That's what a central government has the ability to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is to show up and be like, oh, we can do this, and do it.
Yeah. And there's no one to stop them.
There is no one to stop.
There's no one. Jay Powell and his unlimited money.
His money printing machine.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great place, great foundational place to start from for today's podcast. Do you want to talk about how cryptocurrency works?
I think so. I think we should get into that because we were doing the definition as to like what decentralized money is. And
yes.
The last part of the definition of cryptocurrency is built on a blockchain technology.
Okay.
And then it really becomes important to understand what is a blockchain technology. So blockchain is open and distributed ledger that records transaction in code. Basically, every time that there is a transaction that occurs, so if I, Chris, pay you, the viewer, and then you, the viewer, pay Dominic something, and then Dominic pays me, that would be a transaction. Each one of those steps is a transaction. When I paid you, when you paid Dom, when Dom paid me.
Yes.
And then once the transaction happens, it's called a block.
Okay.
That block gets added onto the chain, which is all previous transactions. So every time a block is added, we have all transactions ever occurred ever. So we can look back and say, hey, 6 months ago, Chris paid Dom something. And then 4 months ago, Dom paid this random person something else. All the way till today where we just did our, I give you $1.
Full 360, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty simple definition of it. I like that visual too.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it much simpler.
No, I think that's really it. I like that.
And that's where the thing where people say like, oh, well, blockchain technology, and no one really understands what that means. That is what blockchain is. So there's a lot of companies that have been able to grow their stock price simply by saying they use blockchain technology. For example, Lipton iced tea.
Shut up.
Changed something inside of their investor things to Lipton blockchain tea. And their stock price rose significantly.
Really?
And they have nothing to do with it.
They don't even know what it is.
So like for e-commerce, blockchain makes sense.
Yeah.
E-commerce doesn't make sense. For like commerce and stuff like that, it makes sense. But like there are companies that are just using the word blockchain. Not as much anymore now that AI is the big thing.
Yeah.
But that is really just
that really is.
That is just the fear and greed cycle. Like how many companies are like, not powered by AI.
Yeah.
Even though like you have been the whole time.
Yeah. It's like new Lipton artificial intelligence tea. It's like, what? So you've always been artificial.
Yeah, you've always never been that good.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's wild. That should not be allowed. It's so stupid.
It is, but yeah, companies that would put blockchain back when blockchain was big, and this is the fear and greed cycle, right?
Yes.
It's really based off of, in my estimation, what Bitcoin is doing. I think Bitcoin is the king of, and I think most people would agree, Bitcoin is the king of all cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
So everyone goes based off of Bitcoin's price. So right now, there's fervor in the world as to what's going on with cryptocurrency. Everyone's like, oh, I should get into cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency has now hit another all-time high.
Yeah.
But when it goes back down to
20,000,
everyone's like, oh no, crypto bad.
Yeah, it was always a scam.
It was always a scam. But
Always
when it's
knew it.
high again, it's like, oh no, it's good.
It's the future. Yeah.
So like we talked about, when my mom or your dad or grandma or grandpa start asking about this crypto thing, now it's time to get out. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you're seeing it on the evening news with David Muir, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely get out.
Yeah, that's now the time. You're too late.
You're too late.
You're too late. The party's over.
It's reached the masses, and the masses, that's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm. And that's the fear about the SEC now allowing Bitcoin to be traded with ETFs.
But that's the problem, because they're not actually, when you buy that ETF, you're not actually buying a Bitcoin, correct? Mm-hmm. You're buying.
Well, you're hoping you're buying a Bitcoin. You don't
you're
really
hoping.
know.
Yeah, you're like, how does that work?
So it's the same thing with gold, in that if you buy a gold ETF,
Mm-hmm.
the company that has the old gold ETF says, we hold gold in your behalf. For 99% of the time, they do not. They hold gold futures, so they actually don't hold gold.
Really?
Because the gold futures say if we hit the strike price, then you give us the gold.
Okay.
There's a lot of steps in there between somebody actually physically taking possession of gold.
Gotcha.
And that's the fear with ETFs, is that do they actually hold Bitcoin? And with an ETF, there's no way you could ever go and transact it. Say if you hold an ETF for like all the stocks, like say you hold an S&P VTI.
Yeah.
You hold the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index.
Yeah.
You cannot go to Vanguard and be like, I want the percentage of every share in here. Like I can't be like, I want my point whatever percent of Apple, my point whatever percent of.
No, you have to sell the whole
You
share.
have to sell the whole share. You're not going to go ahead and be able to take it all.
Trim it off. Yeah, no. Interesting. So, but rather, if you bought a Bitcoin through the blockchain, through a non-ETF version, and I wanted to go to a place that had a Bitcoin, where you could pay in Bitcoin, rather than trading my whole coin, I would just shave off a little bit of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The monetary conversion of what it would be.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly. You see how much easier it kind of seems to make in that point?
Yeah.
If you had a physical thing that you could actually because gold coins, that's how gold coins used to actually work, was you would shave off pieces.
Really? How about that?
Yep.
That's wild.
So it's the same thing, but now we're doing it digitally. There's no physical thing that we're actually touching.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, so like a 9 ounce, like gold, like a 9 ounce, that's why they work on ounces. Isn't the gold so brittle that you're able to break off pieces of gold and still be able to have
The full bar is still intact. Interesting. I didn't know if gold was that brittle.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the carats are. So the higher the carat, the more brittle it is, the softer the gold is.
Really? So the softer the gold, the better.
Yes. So the higher the count, the better.
Gotcha.
Because gold is very soft.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Did not know that. Now,
Well, not like malleable. Like
yeah.
that soft.
Now you got me thinking. I'm like, if I
putty.
had like a gold bar here, could I just like take a knife to it and cut it in
it's
half?
not like
No.
putty. No. But they're more malleable.
Yeah, but you can shave off some gold.
Yeah. So like you have like true like gold hoop earrings. Like you have to be very careful because you can destroy the shape of them.
Yeah. Huh. Well, the gold hoop earrings don't apply to me, but I understand the reference.
So, and that's what So now let's move on to cryptographic proof. So the big thing with blockchain is that we make sure that we verify all transactions are occurring cryptographically. And I know that's very confusing, but basically what it means is that every single user in the mining pool goes ahead and they all verify to say that a transaction occurred in the correct way.
Okay.
To make sure that, if we all had this ledger, that you and I said like, oh, well, I paid Chris, but our viewer here, his ledger said that you paid me. That would be not good.
No.
So we want to make sure that we all have the exact same thing. So that's where proof of work versus proof of stake comes in. And I'm not going to go back into that.
Yeah, that's so deep.
Yeah.
It's so deep.
But that is really what you buy when you buy Bitcoin. When you buy Ethereum, when you're trying to buy these cryptocurrencies, you are purchasing that proof of work. Yeah. You're purchasing that it involves solving a mathematical puzzle to validate that a transaction actually occurred before adding another block onto the chain, creating the blockchain.
Yeah. That one, cryptographic proof is definitely one of those things that's like you're going to need a Google search and
a picture
and a deep dive on that, because like right there, that's a pod. You could spend an hour on that just talking about cryptographic proof and ensuring its accuracy.
Yep.
It all just
comes down to transaction verification.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. And I know a lot of people are like afraid of that. Like, oh, well, there's just a lot of information. It's very, very confusing. And now we're just breaking things down too far. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult. It's very nuanced. It's very high level conversations that are like, to wrap your head around it, it takes a lot. Mm-hmm. And you really have to be immersed in the space.
Yeah, I immersed myself in this for years to be able to discuss it at this level. And I still don't feel like I can
talk with the big leagues.
Yeah, speak with the big leagues. And what does it all come down to? If you can teach something, then it means you fully understand it. And the simpler you can teach it, the more you understand it.
Yep.
And we've taken over an hour just to try to like teach cryptocurrency. So yeah. I probably don't have the best understanding in the world. There are definitely people out there, mm-hmm. but there's also a lot of people out there that literally know nothing. We're teaching it too.
Yep.
So I'm always trying to say that I don't know everything.
Yeah. It's at least you like immerse yourself in finance. Like this is your job.
Yeah, this is my job.
You know, financial planning and whatnot. So, I mean, that's good. But yeah, I mean, are we going to move on from cryptographic proof?
Yeah, we'll move on from there.
Okay.
So I think the big thing next is like mining and usage of cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So mining, and what are miners? Miners are the people that actually go around and they do the proof of work. Mm-hmm. So everyone that's doing the proof of work, that's trying to solve the computational power and solve that mathematical issue to add a new block onto the chain, mm-hmm. they are the miners. They are rewarded in whatever crypto they are mining in order to continue to make sure that the ledger is correct. So they're incentivized to make sure that everything is correct by the exact thing that they're trying to ensure is working.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's questions I want to ask, but I don't think you know the answers to. Like who are these miners? Like, what are they?
Everybody.
Yeah, so it's like
everybody and anybody who wants to be a miner. You could go out and buy a mining rig right now and become a miner.
Interesting.
Cost you a few $1,000, but you can do it.
And it costs a lot of power too.
Yes.
It's very energy intensive because
mm-hmm.
they're solving hard problems, hard mm-hmm. puzzles. Interesting. Okay. I think I'm starting to get a grasp on it.
You're starting to get a little bit of it?
Yes, sir.
So now that kind of brings up, like, we've talked a lot about what cryptocurrency is, but what are the uses of cryptocurrency?
Please talk about it.
And just like all things, cryptocurrency can really be used to secure purchases, just like money can be used.
Okay.
It can also be used as an alternative investment.
Okay. It's not a bad idea.
But for the alternative investment, you're basically, whenever you invest in crypto, and this is the part where you have to be very careful and make sure you have good risk analysis, your hope whenever you purchase a crypto is that someone else will buy it for more.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Because just like gold, just like all other things, what money is, mm-hmm. money produces nothing.
No.
Money has value because we say it has value.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like a house. It's not like a car. It's not like food. You know, just like with gold, when people are like, oh, well, I can trade money for gold, for gold, and I can trade gold for food, and I need food to eat. You can't eat gold. You can't eat Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Interesting. So would you say there's a lot of similarities between cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins and stuff like that and stocks? Because for stocks, sometimes it's similar in a way that, like, you hope that more people will buy it at a price lower than yours, mm-hmm. so that price keeps rising.
So there is a fundamental difference between buying a stock and buying a cryptocurrency.
Could we go into that?
Yeah. So whenever you buy a stock, what you're purchasing is a share of a company. That company is actually going out and producing tangible goods mm-hmm. or services that people are forking over their money to purchase. So you're purchasing the company's ability to make money mm-hmm. in the future.
Yeah.
That's what you purchase. You purchase the stock.
Yes.
When you purchase a Bitcoin, you're not purchasing any of that. Bitcoin is not going out and trying to produce more money or try to produce goods and services to give off to people.
Yep.
That's the fundamental difference.
Do you think the problem I have with it is it's a societal problem, mm-hmm. is because Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have been very publicized mm-hmm. and people aren't jumping into it because they see, most people, I wouldn't think, a lot of people don't jump in with it seeing like the use of it because they see it just as a fear of missing out. Because like you could always buy like currency exchange stuff, like you could always forex trade. Like why don't people buy like the yen or the pound? You know, I mean, some people do, but it's like not at the level people are buying Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies.
It's all about fervor and what's being talked about. I mean, the entire market, all of finance, everything is based off fear and greed.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out and greed of wanting more.
Yep.
So it all comes down to really just those two things. And Bitcoin is the big thing now. During the Iraq war, the big thing was the dinar. The dinar was the Iraqi money. And everyone thought, like, once Iraq is liberated and everything, the dinar, which right now is worth like literally nothing, is going to go to the moon. And
Really?
everyone that's holding dinar will be able to transact that in American currency and have a bunch of money. And they've been saying that since 2008 or since 2001.
What? I've never heard of that.
Yep. It's for 23 years, people have been saying, like, buy Iraqi dinar, and that way you will be rich one day.
That's stupid.
That's cryptocurrency, though.
Yeah.
Like, it could be the exact same thing. That's the same thing with gold. It's the same thing with all money. And it all depends on which side you want to fall on to say, is that stupid or is that genius?
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes down to what history is going to happen in the future. Yeah. And no one knows what's going to happen in the future. So everyone just kind of gives their best educated guess. And a lot of people like to listen to people who are very, very sure of themselves say things. And if there's two people saying different things and they're both saying the opposite thing, one of them is going to be right.
Yeah, exactly. You know where I could get me some dinar?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any dinar. I want some dinar. That's what I need.
I can't tell you how many times as an advisor I've had people call me saying, hey, I'm about to come into a lot of money and I really need an advisor for when that happens. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, what's going on? Like someone passing away? Like what's happening? Like, I'm holding hundreds of thousands of dollars in Iraqi dinar. And when it pops, I'm going to be there. And I always tell them the same thing. When it happens, call me. Until that time, there's really not a lot I can do.
There's no way you've gotten calls like that.
There are 100% ways I've gotten calls like that.
That's crazy.
It's basically the same thing of someone saying, hey, I really need a financial advisor because I have
a lottery ticket.
I have a lottery ticket, and I know this one's going to hit.
That's a stupid prank.
But it's not even a prank.
It's not even a prank. That's what's so dumb. Well, April's coming.
Yeah, April's coming. But think about that for Bitcoin. That's one thing. But like think of like Dogecoin or Catcoin or Leprechaun coin, whatever coin you want. Some people will purchase that with the thought of this will go to the moon. And I understand it. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't see a way out, and someone gives you a way out, like, hey, you invest $10,000. I know it's your last $10,000, but you invested in here, and it's going to go to $1 million. You're purchasing hope.
Yeah,
that's what these people are selling. They are selling hope.
And sometimes it's not even hope. Some people just love to gamble. I think a lot of people love to gamble.
I think a lot of people love to gamble too.
Yeah.
I don't like gambling.
I don't mind gambling.
Do you?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I lose all the time.
Blackjack's fun. Blackjack's fun.
I do like blackjack, but I only play at the $5 tables. Yeah. And I only do that so I can get as much alcohol as I can as I can.
I see. Okay, so
I say we move on to investing in cryptocurrencies. Talked about the pros and the cons.
Yes.
I mean, the big pros and the cons of cryptocurrency comes down to it's really as old as Bitcoin is, which is in 2009. So we only really have 23 years, or 25 years, I guess now, of cryptocurrency being in existence. Now, no, 15.
No. Yeah.
15 years of cryptocurrency being in existence. Now, don't get me wrong. During those 15 years, Bitcoin has performed better than any asset, quote unquote asset, in history ever.
Yeah. Because what was the first coin at?
When was the first coin minted?
Or like what did the price start at?
Oh, who knows? Oh, for Bitcoin?
Yeah.
0.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Damn, my dollar could have stretched far. Could have stretched real far.
But that would have meant that you had to purchase in when it was at 0 or $1 or a cent, whatever.
Yeah.
You had to get it at a cent, hold it while it did nothing for years and years and years until what? Is it like 2017, 2016?
Even before that, I mean,
when it went to 20,000.
I mean, when it went to 20, yeah.
It was like 2016. You had to hold it.
But I mean, even 20,000. I mean, just for it to hit $100.
Oh yeah,
or 1,000.
That took years.
Yeah.
Years and years and years of adoption.
Yeah.
And you had to hold it and hold it and hold it through all these crazy cycles. And people who look at the charts, it's always easy looking backwards. You can look at the chart and go, oh, it was purchased on this day, sold on this day, sold on this day. But when you're in it right now, I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow.
No.
Because you don't, and no one does.
No. But if you got a time machine, let us know.
Yeah. Because let us know. The collective wisdom of every single person in the world making decisions. And there's no way in hell that you can account for every single person in the world making decisions and the interconnectivity of every decision being made.
Maybe one day a supercomputer will solve those.
That's what AI might be able to do. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the pros really are that it can go to the moon. It could be everything that everyone...
All the hype.
All the hype that everyone says it is.
Yep.
The cons are, it can go to nothing.
You lose everything.
You lose everything.
Yeah. It goes down 99% and you have nothing left.
Yeah, it could be, and that's the pro versus the con. These are very extreme. Or, I mean, it could just continue being flat.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We literally have no idea because we only have 15 years of history to go back on.
It's nothing.
And past results do not indicate future returns. Exact same thing with the stock market. You can invest in the stock market tomorrow. It can go to zero forever. The last 120 years of the stock market working could mean nothing.
Yep.
It really could.
Yep.
So it's very important that we always have risk mitigation, that we set allocations, and that we have a long-term consideration when investing in crypto. And most importantly, we do not invest more than we are willing to lose or are okay with losing. You should not be investing little Timmy's college fund, your retirement, anything like that on crypto.
No, I agree.
From a personal anecdote, in 2020, after doing years of research, I finally put my money into Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And at the time, it was like 10, 15% of my net worth. It ballooned up to like 50% of my net worth. So it had too much because of how much growth there was in there. So I cut back on my crypto. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's gotten nothing but up. Mm-hmm. And if you were to look at that, be like, oh, stupid Chris, you should have just stayed in it.
Yeah.
But it also could have gone the opposite way.
Yeah, easily.
And at the end of the day, it's about sleeping well at night and controlling what I can control. And what I can control is making sure that I'm well diversified and that if any one thing goes wrong, I'm still okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially for people pursuing FI.
Peace of mind. Yeah. Peace of mind is a big thing. That's for darn sure. And you're not going to find too much peace in crypto.
No. But I do think it's good because sometimes market swings, they come around once every 10 years, once every 20 years, every so long. So many people think like, oh, I'm a millionaire or I'm a genius when it comes to stocks. Everyone I choose just goes up. But with crypto, it's a good way to see, like, it's a good gut check. Like, can I stomach volatility?
Yes. Yeah, that's for darn sure. Yes. That's for darn sure.
And that is crypto. That is a basics understanding of crypto in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or less.
I love it. I think that's it.
I'm done with crypto.
I'm
talked about it now.
I'm so done with crypto. But we're not done with the pod.
Yeah, I'm not done with crypto investing.
No.
I'm done with talking about it right now.
Now we're part of the podcast where we do a little bit of a viewer mailbag, a 5 Friday feedback viewer mailbag. I just want to tell you a little bit of things that I've learned from paying off $70,000 in credit card debt, $80,000 in car loans, and $10K in student loans. That is that's the title for today's letter.
That's the subject, yes.
The subject, thank you. I was like, I don't write very many letters these days. So I was like, what am I going for? But yes, that is the subject line for today's letter in our viewer mailbag. We just got a letter. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
This is actually a good one today.
Okay.
It's a very good one today. Dear Fi Guys, thank you so much for all of your insights on your podcast. Today, I wanted to share a deeply personal journey that my husband and I have been on over the past 14 months. It's a story of struggle, determination, and ultimately triumph. I know that you typically answer questions on 5 Friday feedback, but I thought I would share some good news and help the listeners who may be in a similar situation to where we were in. Just over a year ago, we found ourselves drowning in debt. We had $70,000 in credit card debt, $80,000 in car loans, and $10,000 in student loans looming over us like a dark cloud. Despite both of us earning a decent income from working from home, every penny we made seemed to vanish in the abyss of debts. We were barely able to keep our heads above water with no more than $1,000 in our bank account at any given time. But we refused to let our financial situation define us. We knew that we had to take drastic measures to turn our lives around, and so we embarked on our journey to financial freedom.
Nice.
Here are some tips that helped us along the way. I love that. I love when people go on a journey and come back and they share war stories and helpful tips that help you. I think
that's what it is, right? It's about going through the jungle, seeing like, oh, that's where that snake was, that's where that hole was, all that stuff. and then having the wherewithal to go back through and then guide other people through it.
Exactly.
So
keeps you at the Rancor pit.
yeah, I really like that they're helping it. But this is our podcast, and we're the ones that give tips.
What's the deal?
Who do you think you are?
Just
no,
kidding.
I'm joking.
Just kidding.
I'm looking forward to hearing your tips.
We love this. So tip number one. We realized that if we wanted to dig ourselves out of the hole we were in, we needed to get a bigger shovel. Both my husband and I took second jobs despite how grueling it was. Every extra dollar we earned went towards chipping away at our debt. Did I skip it?
Yeah, that's okay. That's tip number one.
That's tip number one? Okay. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
No, yeah, it's really important. I mean, how do you get out of debt? How do you pursue how much money you make minus how much money you spend?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they just went ahead and made a bigger shovel, made more money.
I like that. I like that a lot. Tip number 2, we consolidated a significant portion of our credit card debt into a single loan with a long-term length, resulting in a lower monthly payment. This allowed us to allocate more of our money and our income towards paying off the remaining debt. Okay.
Yeah, so what they did is basically took the credit card. The one thing I worry about that, because credit cards have such high interest rates, by extending it out, it might not have been, what they probably should have done was put everything they had, or most of everything they had, at the credit cards, and then put the rest of it at the car, and like put a little bit in the minimum towards the car and the student loans, just from like a debt avalanche perspective, rather than a debt snowball. But whatever works for you, works for you. That's what makes personal finance personal.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's what they meant. That's what I'm reading kind of seems like that.
Tip number 3, we made sacrifices. We canceled all unnecessary expenses, including taking our kids out of daycare and watching them ourselves while we worked. It wasn't easy. No, kids are noisy. But we got creative and found ways to make it work.
Oh, that's crazy, because they both worked from home.
Exactly.
And they had the kids at home.
Yeah.
And they took on second jobs.
Yeah. I wonder how old the kids are.
Well, if they're in daycare, they got
Probably pretty young.
They'd be pretty young, right?
4 or 5.
Yeah, because if not, then it's school. And I took my kid out of school.
I took them out of school.
So they could work.
Time to get a job at the factory.
But I think a lot of people, what do they know what they need to do? They're not willing to make the sacrifices.
That's a sad truth. Yeah, that's a really sad truth. Tip number 4, and our final tip. We slashed our costs wherever we could. I learned how to cook healthy, budget-friendly meals, and we sold off anything that we didn't absolutely need. Unfortunately, we couldn't sell our cars because we were upside down on our loans, but we made do with what we had.
I love that.
I like that as well.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, our efforts began to pay off. Last September, it's my birthday month, fun fact, we paid off our credit cards and debt and consolidated, wow, they did all 3 of them. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the consolidation loan. That's great. I didn't think they were going to get all 3 of them. In November, we tackled our student loans, and every cent that we used to go towards those debts will now snowball into our car payment. Okay.
Okay, well, good thing, though, because they did pay off in September, the credit card. So it sounds like they did do the avalanche.
Yeah, they're doing it.
They did everything perfect.
I'm so proud of them.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, this is good. And we helped out, and got helped out with our tax return. We finally were able to pay off the last of our car loans.
Nice.
Just keep reading and you'll find a little bit more. Today, we still have our mortgage, but it feels like a manageable burden compared to the weight of our previous debts. And while there were many sleepless nights that were filled with stress and uncertainty, we emerged stronger and more resilient than ever before. I share this story not to boast, but to offer hope and encouragement to anyone who may find themselves in a similar situation. It's not easy, and it's certainly not glamorous, but with determination and perseverance, anything is possible. If anyone has any questions about our process, this is the promo part where I'm like, I don't know. If anybody has any questions about our process or suggestions on how to build savings, we are more than happy to share our insights. And remember, no matter how dire your situation may seem, there is always a way forward. From debt's tight grasp, we took flight. Now we're soaring high, shining bright.
Nice.
I like that.
Well, first off, Ryder, I would like to thank you so much for writing in and sharing your story with us. Like that's really, really cool. I think it's good to actually hear from a listener. So often in Five Friday feedback, we're telling someone like when they're in debt, like this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
But this is someone who's actually made it through the journey and is coming back to say, like, this is what we did. And it sounds a lot like the things that we tell people to do every single time. But it is good to have somebody to say, like, it actually does work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It actually works.
It actually does work. And, they made some tough decisions. They really, they tightened their boots and they pulled them up and, they did it. They did it. It wasn't easy. Like they said, it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't glorious, but they got it done and they triumphed in the end.
Yep. So what are the big tips again? Number 1 was they consolidated their debts.
Yep.
Number 2 is they made bigger shovels. They both started working second jobs. So they started bringing in more money. They made sacrifices so they canceled all unnecessary debts, and then they slashed everywhere they could.
Yeah.
So what does it come down to? They made more money than they were spending. They spent less money, and then they threw everything at the debts.
Yep.
It's the same exact thing that you do on the path to FI. You try to make more money than you're spending, and then you invest the difference.
Yeah. I mean, now that they're really cooking with gas, you can really put a lot towards hitting your FI number.
Yeah, and that's really the double-edged sword of this. It's like a double-edged good sword, right? Not like a sword that cuts you. It's a double-edged good sword because as you cut your expenses down, you start to realize, I can actually live off of less than I thought. Yeah. So they continue to maintain the lifestyle that they had, or maybe, make it better than it was. Put your kids back in daycare. You probably don't need to work both those jobs, but try to remember this lifestyle that you're living right now. And if you're okay with this lifestyle, it definitely double helps you in that if you keep your lifestyle low, you can save more.
Yeah.
And the more that you save, if your lifestyle is lower, that's less amount that you need to save to call yourself financially independent.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. And they did it right. They did it right. Oh, good job. Well done.
Good job.
Well done.
Definitely admire the determination and the resilience. And thank you so much for talking about the sacrifice that is needed. Because I think it's hard for me to tell people you just have to sacrifice a lot. It's going to suck.
Yeah, cut out Netflix. Good luck.
Yeah, because it does suck, and there is a lot of sacrifice, and there's a lot of times where I meet with clients, and they're they just want me to be the hero of the story. But at the end of the day, every single person is the hero of their own story.
Absolutely.
And these people are the guide. They're here to say I made it through the jungle.
Yeah.
Come with me, and I'll show you how to not make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, congratulations. That's a win.
Yeah, that's definitely a win.
That's a big win.
$150,000 in debt, $160,000 in debt. They paid
$70K in credit card, $80K in car loans, $10K in student loans, and they're working on the mortgage.
And they did it in 14 months. Just over a year, they were able to get it done.
It's ridiculous.
Working hard. Yeah. Now with the mortgage, I don't know what your interest rate is, but I think a mortgage is fine. Given that the interest rate isn't anything crazy.
Everybody's got a mortgage.
Everyone's got a mortgage.
Yeah,
but work on it. Definitely work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's all I can say is congratulations. No tips, no tricks, no.
I have no tips or no tricks. Just keep it up. Try not to. Don't let that pressure coming off stop you.
Yeah. And don't get yourself back in the same place.
Yeah, I think you figured it out because they worked hard. Now they understand the importance of it.
Absolutely. With that being said, let's get back onto win of the week. One of my favorite. I will say sometimes the 5 Friday feedbacks can be a little bit draining and they're a little bit sad sometimes.
Yeah.
But this one was a great one. Yeah. So actually, this is my second favorite part of the week. Today, this is win of the week where we share our wins of the week, and they don't have to be financial.
Thus the title.
That's why
it's called that. I understand.
Exactly. A little translation there for you guys. Would you like to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So I have gone for over 2 months now of cold plunging every day.
Nice. And
posting it on YouTube, which has been very awkward for me. I don't really like being on camera very much unless I'm here with Dom because he makes me more comfortable. But I definitely don't like being on camera by myself and talking.
And topless.
And the most, what would it be? It's just the worst part of my freaking day.
It sucks.
So every day I've been making a short of me hopping inside of the cold plunge and just suffering for 4 minutes.
Yeah. Where can they go see that?
They can go on YouTube, honestly, and it's under Chris Monzon.
Cool.
I think it is.
I love it.
I call it the 4 at 40 challenge. So 4 minutes every day at 4 a.m. in 40 degrees of water.
Yes, there you go. I love it.
And it's just as bad as it sounds.
It sucks, dude.
Every single day. It does not get easier.
It sucks.
Yeah. Anyone that says that it's easy to take ice challenge, it's not. No. They're lying. They're crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen people just get in it and they're just it's warm today and it's 41 degrees. I'm like, you're a psycho.
You're psycho. Good for you.
Good for you, though. Okay, so my win of the week is yesterday, actually, my dad and I, along with one of our close family friends, Jeff, who is an expert in construction.
Nice.
He helped us, and when we say helped us, we helped him, basically.
Yeah, he did it. I just watched.
Yeah, honestly. He helped us finish a vertical gardening station in the backyard, which, if you know anything about me, I love being in the backyard, and I love being in the outdoors and whatnot, and I'm in the process of...
Is that why you're so pale? It's because you like being outside.
I love being... Listen, we were out there, and let me tell you, I was the only one that had sunscreen on.
Yeah, I like being outside in a sweater, hiding from the sun.
I
sunscreen.
was wearing a jacket. I will say that I was wearing a jacket and covering my skin. I don't want to get melanoma, bro. I'll burn up. I'll turn into like a Rice Krispie, dude.
Well, you always say like, "Oh, I want to go on vacation with you." Well, every time we go, like, look how dark I am right now. Like,
dude, if you think
you would die,
if you think I'm white here, you should see when I take my shirt off. It's a new shade. It's a new shade.
It's a new shade of transparent.
Dude, yes. Like, I'm going to get you some special sunglasses, right? Okay? But yeah, the reason why I really wanted to build this growing station is to cut back on my food expenses, which I really don't spend that much, but I do love gardening. And one of the things I want to grow is strawberries in there. So, you know, the funny part about this is I ate all my strawberries at home. I don't have any strawberries, and I haven't had any for like the past 3 weeks. It's the only thing I've been thinking of.
Well, now you're going to have some in a few, you'll have a little bit of time before summer hits, and they're not going to grow. So
I got a nice little shade cover over it.
Oh, you got a shade cover? Okay,
it
will grow.
It's sick. It's got a full metal roof over it, and I'm gonna figure out a way where I can run my sprinkler system and have the sprinkler system run black tubing over it, so it'll water the plants when the grass gets watered. So it'll be almost hands off.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the reason that I say, viewer, that his things will die during summertime, I don't know where you are, but here in Phoenix, everything dies during summer.
It's toasty out in that time.
And the only things that make it are the sequoias, and even they're struggling.
Yeah, when the cactus is thirsty, like that's bad.
Yeah, we're in a bad spot.
But I mean, I'm excited. I'm super excited. And we have I don't want to announce this, but I have 2 more plans for the backyard for like a fire pit and like a place to sit. And then I have this idea for a water feature that I saw on TikTok, and then I made it in Photoshop. It's sick. But well, fingers crossed. I don't know when that'll get done, but yeah, I did find the bench seating that I liked at Lowe's yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was basically like concrete Legos. It was really weird.
Oh, that
use it with like fasteners. Yeah, it's sick. It's really sick. And I found this like grill where it's like a charcoal grill and a wood grill. And then it has like this giant thing you can put over it to cook on the fire. It's sick.
Okay.
It's sick. I'll, maybe in the coming weeks, maybe in the coming months. I don't know. We'll see.
Nice, man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this fascinating discussion here on Five Friday Feedback. We talked all about cryptocurrency. We got some amazing tips from a viewer talking about the way that the tips they learned after paying off over $160,000 in debt. And you got to hear our wins of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, till then, we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget the fee for the show.
There's always a fee for the show. So what we need you to do is we are releasing our own Fi cryptocurrency.
Shut up. Shut up. Get out of here. The fee for the show is that you tell a friend, and because it's always better to go on this financial journey with a buddy. I mean, look at us. We're jovial as ever. So, yes, like it, subscribe, follow for more, hit the notification, all that fun stuff.
And buy our Fi cryptocurrency. We will see you later. Have a great day.
Later, guys.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.